What if I told you that some of the very behaviors we label as self-sabotage are actually surviving strategies? That what looks like avoidance, emotional shutdown, or even chaos is the nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do: protect at all costs. For individuals living with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, regulation is not intuitive. It's actually learned under chronic threat. Instead of developing a very flexible, adaptive coping systems, the brain and the body organize around survival efficiency. The result? A reliance on maladaptive regulatory processes, patterns that reduce stress in the short term, but reinforces dysregulation over a long period of time. These aren't random behaviors. They are deeply encoded responses shaped by prolonged exposure to interpersonal trauma, often during developmental years, where the safety, attachment, and the predictability were compromised. So, at the core, we are looking at dysregulation of the autonomic nervous system, particularly oscillation between hyperarousal, fight and flight, and hypoarousal, freeze and shut down. Without consistent co-regulation in early environments, the system improvises. One common process is the experiential avoidance, the chronic suppression or evasion of internal states. This can manifest as emotional numbing, dissociation, or behavioral distraction. Neurobiologically, this reflects the top-down inhibition from the prefrontal cortex, which is attempting to dampen the limbic overactivation, but at a cost, reduced emotional integration. And then we see the dissociative compartmentalization, fragmentation of the conscious experience. And this isn't just spacing out, it's actually a protective detachment mediated by altered connectivity between cortical and subcortical regions, particularly when perceived threat overwhelms processing capacity. Another is the affect dysregulation through externalization, using behaviors to modulate internal states. This may include compulsive control, substance reliance, disordered thinking, patterns, relational patterns, reenactments. So the attempts to stabilize the internal chaos through external means. There's also hypervigilant threat, then the amygdala, that's actually the threat detection center. So this leads to chronic activation, cognitive distortions, and difficulty down-regulating once triggered. And importantly, the maladaptive strategies like anxious overengagement or avoidant withdrawal serve as interpersonal regulation tools. Relationships become the stage where unresolved trauma patterns are both replayed and temporarily soothed. All of these processes share a very common goal: reduced perceived threat and restore a sense of control. But they bypass integration. They keep the system surviving, not healing. So what do you do with this kind of awareness? First is that you must shift the lens from judgment to understanding. These patterns are really not failures of someone's character. They are adaptations of a system that did not have safer options. And second is that move towards intentional regulation, developing a capacity to interoceptive awareness, emotional tolerance, and safe relational connections. And this is where trauma therapies work, such as cognitive behavior therapy, earthing, guided meditations, so you can begin to rewire these pathways. And finally, we practice co-regulation before self-regulation. Healing does not happen in isolation. I've said this so many times. It happens in environments where safety is not just told, but felt repeatedly. Because the goal is not to eliminate these protective mechanisms overnight, but the goal is to gently teach the nervous system something new, that survival is no longer the only option. Regulation can be safe, and over time, so can connections. And I also would like to refer you to my book that I published on breath being body, a mindful journey healing complex PTSD. It is available on Amazon, and you may want to read that book to learn more about complex PTSD and how so many different factors, trauma bonding, gaslighting, parents that are narcissistic. So connecting all the dots in this book. Also, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment or two for me. And also, if you know someone that is suffering from complex PTSD, please share this video with them. Thank you so much and have a great day.